studying in Spain in association with Campus Spain, which is a government entity who helps students to get admission and make their student life easier into the country Spain. So today we have Ms. Kosia from Campus Spain. Welcome on the webinar, Ms. Kosia. And we have Mr. Rajiv Soni, owner and director of the Harji International. So without doing any further delay, I would like to commence this webinar. So before moving ahead, Ms. Kosia, I would like to hand over you the host right, and you may share the insights about studying in Spain, and most importantly, what are the benefits of studying in Spain to our Indian students. So over to you, Ms. Kosia. Most importantly, what are the benefits?
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon, good morning from Spain. My name is Gosia. I am the Director of Admissions in Campus Spain office in Vigo, here in Spain. And today I would like to share with you some more information, some more insights on how Campus Spain can help you to come to Spain and study in one of Spanish universities. I hope everybody can see my screen and my presentation slides right now. Okay, wonderful. So yes, first of all, let me start by saying thank you to our friends and partners from RG International. As always, it's a pleasure to share a promotional event with them. We have received many students here in Spain who have been assisted by RG International, so it's important to mention that if you decide to come to Spain, I highly recommend you contact them because they will be very competent and very helpful and to guide you through all the formalities and make you safely land in Spain and in Spanish university. Let me start also by explaining very briefly what Campus Spain is. We are a private institution. However, we do receive support from our local authorities, and our main mission is to promote Spain as a destination for education. It's important that we do not represent any specific university. We're not education agents. Our mission is to help international students, and we're very highly specialized in helping students from India specifically to get to Spain, to choose the right university for you and to be a successful student in Spain, which is also important. A few highlights about Spain and why Spain is a wonderful study abroad destination. Keep in mind, Spain is one of the most developed countries in the world, and for Europe, it's also one of the safest countries and the country with the most appreciated lifestyle. So, you know, Spain has a great weather, great food, and it's the second most visited country by the tourists in the world. And this is also a good home for students because it's #1 study abroad destination among students from Europe. So if there is a student from Poland, Germany, Netherlands that decide to study abroad, the #1 election will be Spain. If I had to show you some highlights about Spain, just in few images, I would have to start with sports because this is something that attracts a lot of students, international students to Spain. Football, tennis, MotoGP, and so on and so on. Those are very famous sports disciplines where Spanish are leaders, but it's also a study opportunity for international students. There are many students who choose to study in Spain because they want to specialize in sports management, football management, physical education, and similar. There are even study programs in Spain which you can join through Campus Spain that may allow you to become a football coach or a professional football coach. Or there is a program in Spain where you can actually try to become, while you join a Spanish university, you can also try to become a professional football player in Spain. For that, you need to have some prior experience playing football in your country, though. Another very famous sector here in Spain that I'm mentioning because it attracts a lot of students is filmmaking and entertainment sector in Spain. I don't know if you know, the only production hub of Netflix in Europe is based here in Spain, in the capital city, Madrid. So there are, again, a lot of students who choose Spain to study filmmaking, audiovisual communication, and those kind of study majors. But basically, if you look into Spain, you see it's a great country to study architecture, tourism, hospitality, all types of engineering, and also fashion design, for example. What you can see on your screens right now are some very famous brands that I do hope that you know some of them, because those are brands that I've selected for this presentation, basing on their expansion in your country, in India. You have Zara here, for example, you have La Liga, Real Madrid, Barcelona. These are huge companies apart from being huge football clubs. All those brands you can see on your screens right now have one very, very important thing in common. All those brands are Spanish. So these are your future employers. These are your future professional opportunities if you decide to study in Spain, if you decide to acquire the language. You'll be able to develop your professional career in those companies. It's going to be quite easy for you to start your professional career there, both in Spain, Europe, but also on a more international level, even helping those companies to expand in your country, in India. Moving forward to universities in Spain, let me start by saying that we have 50 public and 35 private universities in Spain, and Campus Spain can be your pathway to any of those universities. The main difference between private and public university is the price. The quality is basically the same. Some would say public universities are more demanding, academically speaking, and therefore some would prefer public universities due to the academic prestige. But what's the clear difference is that public universities are much, much more affordable because they are subsidized, financed by the government. I will explain in a while what are the exact tuition costs for students from India joining public universities, and I think you'll be surprised how affordable it is. It's also important to highlight that if you decide to study in Spain, you will also benefit from the fact that you will be studying in Europe. And students joining a university in Europe can benefit from some very unique privileges. You won't find it any other continent. You won't find it in America. You won't find it in Australia. It's only here in Europe. So first of all, your study visa to Spain will allow you to move freely all over Europe, all over the Schengen countries of Europe, which means that our students with the study visa to Spain can spend a weekend in France, in Germany, in Norway, in Poland. They can visit friends and families there. They can, go to explore other countries, and you won't need any extra visa or any extra stamp in your passport for that. On top of that, Spain is a part of a European higher education area, which is a community of 49 member countries which share the same high quality education standards which are supervised by the European Union. That means that whichever university in Spain you choose, you can rest assured that they follow those top quality education requirements. Thanks to that, your degree or your masters from Spain will be automatically recognized in 49 countries in the world. It also allows you to take part of your studies, to continue your studies, or to work in any of those countries. And finally, Indian students in Spain also get access to European Union funded scholarships. So my favorite scholarship scheme that is open for Indian students is called Erasmus Plus. It allows you to take one semester or 1 year off studying outside Spain in another European country. to the Spanish university. And on top of that, the European Union grants you a scholarship that covers your life expenses. So this is open for every single student in a Spanish university, no matter where you come from. Very briefly, I wanted to give you some highlights on the rankings. Spanish universities are especially highly ranked for all types of MBA programs. So anything related to business, marketing, or finance. If you want to upgrade your professional curriculum with this regard with a master's program, then Spanish universities are definitely a very good election for you. For degrees, Spanish universities are especially highly ranked for all types of engineering, food science and technology, hospitality and tourism management, and sports. Um, as you probably know, and this is the next point I would like to focus on, the official language here in Spain is not English, it is Spanish, okay? So it's important to highlight the importance and significance of the Spanish language worldwide. Actually, Spanish language is the second most spoken language in the world. There are more people in the world speaking Spanish than speaking English. It is an official language in 21 different countries. And what's important is that actually it's quite easy to learn. It's ranked as one of the easiest languages to learn, which means that you do not need that much time and that much study hours to actually speak very good Spanish. As you can see on the map, there are 21 different countries in the world where exactly the same language, Spanish language, is spoken. So you do not only use Spanish in Spain, you use Spanish in Argentina, Colombia, Cuba, Venezuela, and so on, up to 21. And it is important, I think, especially for students from India, given that your country increases and has very expanded commercial and business relations with Latin American countries. Well, all those Latin American countries use Spanish, and therefore the demand for professionals speaking Spanish in India is very, very high. You can tell it from this map as well, because as you can see, India is one of 71 countries in the world where Spanish already is the most studied second language. So already we receive inquiries from many students from India who just want to learn Spanish because they know that once they learn Spanish, the companies are going to increase their salaries, for example. And finally, this is a very interesting data that I hope will encourage you to consider learning Spanish. Right now in the United States, more than 20% of people already speak Spanish, but it is actually predicted that by 2050, the United States of America will be the biggest Spanish-speaking country in the world. Yes, Spanish-speaking, not English-speaking, Spanish-speaking country in the world, which means that if you only know English, it might not be enough for many professional pathways. And again, I can assure you from the perspective of our students that learning Spanish is much easier than, for example, learning German or learning French. So it's very pleasant learning process, and the benefits are huge. And speaking about benefits, here is the most important one from an international student's perspective. If you insist on studying in English in Spanish university, there are few private universities that will offer you this option. There are some degrees or some masters that are mostly related to business, which you can study entirely in English language. However, those degrees and those masters, again, are mostly related to business. You won't find a degree in engineering or a degree in medicine entirely taught in English in a university in Spain, public or private. It doesn't exist. But if you decide to study something related to business entirely in English, you have to be able to pay the entire tuition fees by yourself. So those tuition fees are very high, starting with approximately 10,000 euros, which is somewhere around 10 lakhs for Indian rupees. However, if you are willing to learn some Spanish and you decide to join a public university in Spain, where knowing some Spanish is an admission requirement, in this case, you will be able to benefit from up to 90% subsidy for your tuition fees. which means that if you access one of those public universities, you will be paying the tuition fees for your degree or for your masters that are below 1 lakh of Indian rupees per year, not per semester, per year. So if you take a look at this map, you can see that depending on the city, depending on the region where you decide to study here in Spain, your tuition fees will vary, but in most of the areas, the ones that are marked in green, your yearly tuition fees will be between 600 and 1,500 euros. So this is roughly 1,000 US dollars or 1 lakh per year. How to get admitted to those affordable degrees that are subsidized by the government? There is a general requirement which is similar for degree and master's students, which is having the Spanish language certificate. Although not all subjects in public universities are taught in Spanish, there are many subjects that are taught in English. There are also many English-friendly subjects where even if Spanish is used in the classroom, international students are allowed to take their exams, their assignments in English, and they're allowed to have tutorials with teachers in English. Even though the education is kind of a mix of English and Spanish, all students accessing Spanish public universities where the tuition fees are subsidized are expected to prove some prior level of Spanish. And you basically, and from the practical point of view, you're gonna need Spanish to manage yourself in a public university in Spain. So the first step to get into a public university in Spain is to learn some Spanish. Don't worry, we don't expect you to learn Spanish in India, although if you are interested in this option, there are a few places. There's one actually amazing place which we can recommend to you. However, it's a public institution. It's quite collapsed with students already. But you do not have to know any Spanish to actually come to Spain and start your university. You simply enter university here in Spain, you arrive to Spain, you enter the university, and before you start the proper degree or master's, you take a preparatory language program in a Spanish university starting from zero. Apart from this language requirement, which is common for degree and master students who are targeting bachelor's degrees should also prepare their high school documents. Students from India should provide us with the grade 12 and grade 10 mark sheets. All examination boards from all states are recognized for the admission to Spanish universities. And those of you who are targeting master's degree should prepare the bachelor's degree diploma. You must graduate from a bachelor's degree that has taken at least 3 years or more to be eligible to join a master's degree program in Spain. We're gonna need your bachelor's degree diploma and the transcript of records with all your marks from the whole bachelor's degree studies. So how do I learn Spanish? How do you guys acquire this language certificate you need for the admission to a public university in Spain? As I have told you, you can come to Spain with 0 level of Spanish, and you will be taking this preparatory period, which is called LCA. LCA stands from Language, Culture, and Adaptation to University. After that preparatory period, you can continue to bachelor's or to master's. The scheme you can see says that LCA preparatory period takes 1 year, but actually it's 7 to 10 months to be precise. Okay, it's not 1 year; it's 7 to 10 months, which is the time you need to reach a good level of Spanish. So what is LCA? LCA is a preparatory language, culture, and adaptation to university course, which has been developed specifically for students, for international students who wish to learn the language, who wish to adapt to Spanish university, who wish to acquire the language certificate in order to continue to degree or master studies in a university in Spain. Okay, so all students in the program are preparing to join a Spanish university. It has 3 components. The program includes language classes at the State University of Vigo. It's not a language academy, it's not a language school, it's a public, huge, famous university with a very good language center, specialized in teaching Spanish for Spanish-speaking students. So you'll be joining Spanish course, regular Spanish course there for 7 to 10 months. You will start from zero and you will reach B2 level of Spanish, which is being an independent user of the language, both for speaking and for understanding. Apart from that, we have the cultural component. So 30% of Spanish language classes is conducted outside the classroom. Students join trips to other cities, they visit museums, they go for a Spanish cooking class, sports activities, all kind of workshops and fun activities where you actually enjoy the country, which is, I have told you, is truly enjoyable. But at the same time, you also practice Spanish, you interact in Spanish, and you break this shyness for using a new language. And finally, Spanish LCA preparatory program includes the classes and activities which are focused on preparing you to be a successful student of a Spanish university. So we teach you how to do your assignments, how to prepare your exams, how to have a tutorial with the teacher, how to use library, basically how a Spanish university works. You understand that before you start your proper master or your proper degree. On top of that, during the adaptation to university part of the Spanish LCE program, we advise every single student on all study options you have in Spain. So if you, for example, want to study an MBA, Master in Business Administration here in Spain, during adaptation to university course, we will tell you about every single university in Spain, in the whole country that offers MBA. We'll inform you about admission requirements, prices, syllabus, scholarships, internship opportunities, and so on and so on. We help you to choose the best program for you, and then we'll take care of your admission to this master's program. So the Spanish LCA preparatory course is delivered by the University of Vigo, which is here in the north of Spain, very close to the border with Portugal, by the way, but at the Atlantic Ocean. It's a very nice area. But afterwards, you can decide if you want to continue to your degree and master's at the University of Vigo, or if you prefer to change to other city. In this case, we'll help you to move to any other Spanish university for your degree or master's. So this is Vigo. It's a beautiful city at the Atlantic Ocean coast. It is a medium-sized city for European standards. It has 300,000 inhabitants, and it's really important to notice that out of those 300,000 inhabitants, more than 22,000 are students. That basically means that you have a very huge friend-making potential here. You will meet students from all over the world, from all European countries, from all non-European countries. All the students can get together, enjoy the country, interact. And at the same time, they are in a very friendly environment because Vigo is the safest city in Spain and one of the safest cities in Europe. That means we've never had any kind of safety incident involving our students. This is actually the city where when you leave your iPhone in the bus, the people from the bus will call you to give it back to you. And this is not something I'm inventing. This is a real story. It happened already to more than one of our students who have left their belongings in the bus, and the people who found it either delivered it to the police and then to the student, or called the student to give it back to them. So the students were very surprised, but this is a kind of community that we think is great for students, especially for the first year living abroad when you start your international studies. Apart from granting you a safe environment for learning Spanish and adapting to the university, Campus Spain is here to help you with everything you need all the way to a Spanish university. So before you arrive to Spain, we're going to help you to apply for your study visa. It is an important step. A visa to Spain is a valuable visa. It allows you to have a part-time job. It allows you to move around Europe. It allows you to stay back once you graduated. So to get this visa, we need to work closely, and we give you all the support you need to grant your visa successfully. Once students arrive to Spain, the Campus Spain teams is waiting for them at the airport. So when you arrive, somebody will pick you up from the airport, take you to your accommodation that we will arrange for you previously, following your instructions and preferences. We'll help you to open a Spanish bank account. We'll give you a Spanish SIM card. We take care of all your residence permit and your residence card here in Spain as well. And then during the first year in Spain, while you focus on learning Spanish, we take care of all the formal procedures in the Spanish Ministry of Education, which will allow you to continue to degree or master's studies after Spanish LCA program. So this is all on us. Okay, let's move forward to the budget. So here is the outline, the breakdown of the budget students need to prepare to be able to join this program. As you can see, the first year, the preparatory Spanish LCA program requires a bigger investment of time and of money. It costs 7,500 euros, but it's also important to highlight that this amount already includes not only the tuition fees, also all the cultural activities are included, the adaptation to university, or the application fees to your further degree or master studies are included. All the services from campus banks, the airport pickup, Spanish SIM card, all this assistance I have mentioned is already included in those fees. And what is also included is your private medical insurance. Very, very good quality private medical insurance valued in approximately 500 euros is already included in the price of your first year in Spain. So what's important to see is the big picture, which is after you invest in the first year language program, you're going to obtain a language certificate, which will grant you access to public education in Spain. And therefore, from the second year in Spain onwards, your tuition fees will be subsidized by the government. And your budget will be very, very highly reduced because from the second year onwards, you need less than 1,000 euros to cover your tuition fees every year. When it comes to the cost of living, Spain is one of the most affordable countries in Europe. If you compare the costs of living in Spain to other popular study abroad destinations, you can clearly see the difference. Even if we compare to our neighbors, France, you can see that accommodation in Vigo is approximately 300 euros per month, while in France it's much more than double. Students need approximately 450, 500 euros per month to cover absolutely all their living expenses, accommodation, entertainment, books, transportation, food, everything. You can work, students, international students with study visa can work part-time up to 20 hours per week. So normally with this part-time job, students are able to cover absolutely all their living expenses in Spain. Before I finish, and I hope you have some questions, and I'll be more than happy to stay with you and answer all your questions and doubts. Let me summarize the intakes of our program. So Spanish LCA program has 2 intakes along the year. The annual program, which takes 10 months, will start on 4th of October this year and finish by the end of July 2022. In August, students on vacation, and in September, students start their degrees or masters. And there is also an intensive modality of the Spanish LCA program with the same number of study hours, but that are more combined. So you study more Spanish every day. Starts at 10 of January, okay, 2022, and finishes by the end of July. Both intakes are still open for applications as for now, so you could either choose the annual or semester program and start the application procedure anytime. So how is the application procedure? If you're interested in the program, please contact RG International and they will share the application form with you. They will be also very happy to guide you on how to fill it in, how to prepare all the documents. We'll need to receive your application form and your academic documents and a copy of your passport. Our admissions team here in Spain will revise those documents and then they will invite you for a short Zoom online interview. This interview does not require any prior preparation from the students. We simply want to get to know you, make sure you have the right motivation, that you're a good fit for the program and good fit for the Spanish study visa. So if the interview goes well and all the documents are correct, you will receive an offer letter and you'll be also expected to pay the reservation fee of 1,500 euros, which is a prepayment of a part of the tuition fees for the Spanish LCA program. Upon the prepayment of this reservation fee, you will receive all the documents you need to apply for your study visa, the admission letter, medical insurance certificate, accommodation certificate, everything you need to apply for study visa. If you are granted your visa, you'll be expected to pay the remaining tuition fees before you reach Spain. If you're unlucky, which I hope won't happen because we'll be working very hard on your visa granting, but in a likely event your visa is denied, of course, the reservation payment will be reimbursed to you. We won't keep this money if you are not able to come to Spain. What do you actually need for visa? I told you it's a challenging visa. It's available visa. So what you can see on your screens right now is a full list of documents students need to apply for a study visa to Spain. The documents on the left, the longer list, are the documents you do not have to worry about because we will take care of those documents here in Spain. Now, there are 3 documents that must be handled by the student personally. It's a police clearance certificate from the regional passport office, but again, if you count with the assistance of RG International, they are experts in getting this document for students. You also need a medical certificate. It's a very simple medical certificate. We share the template again. RG International will be able to guide you on that one. And finally, you also need bank statements. The Consulate of Spain wants to know who sponsors your education and what is the source of incomes of the person that sponsors your education. Therefore, they will be asking for bank statements of your sponsors showing the movements on the bank account during the last 6 months. What the consulate will be looking for is to detect the source of stable, good, and regular incomes in your sponsor's bank account. So if they have business incomes or job incomes, they should show the bank account where those incomes can be seen. The consulate is also expecting that the closing balance on the account is close to 12 lakhs Indian rupees, okay? There is no need to block this money. This is not a blocked account that the Spanish consulate is expecting. They simply want to make sure that this money is at the student's sponsor's disposal so that they can provide for a student. Apart from the bank statements, consulate from India would also ask you for the ITR declaration of your sponsors for the last 2 years if you apply in Delhi or 3 years if you apply in Mumbai consulate, okay? Because there are 2 consulates. But basically be prepared for getting the ITR certificates of your sponsors as well. This is basically it. The most important highlights are how you can smoothly and successfully join a Spanish university and how affordable it can be for you. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to reply.
Okay. Well, I must say it was a wonderful presentation. So thank you so much for the presentation. May I know, to begin with the questions before that, may I know what is the time right now in Spain?
It's 9 a.m.
It must be very early morning for you, isn't it? Yes.
It's still okay.
Yes. Okay. So I would like to tell my patrons who are watching this live right now on Zoom or even on the social media platforms, guys, if you have any questions apart from this presentation or any detail that you would like to get to know about Spain, please mention your questions into the chat box if you're watching on social media, and you can also mention it here in the Q&A section. So please mention your questions, and Ms. Portia would be very happy to help. Okay. The first question I received from social media is that you mentioned about the LCA program, Ms. Portia, the language learning program. So if someone is a graduate and he's applying for the master's, is it necessary to go via this track, or can he apply directly to the English taught program?
Students can apply to English taught programs if they wish to take master's related to business, because there are no fully English taught master's program for other study majors, honestly. It's very difficult to find. Normally, even if you kind of receive this first information saying that your master's or degree in a public university will be entirely in English, once you arrive, you realize the teachers are using Spanish. This is normal. I mean, Spain is not an English-speaking country. Mr. Rajiv, the director of RG, has visited Spain several times, and he can confirm that it's not that easy, to communicate in English everywhere in Spain.
That's very true.
It's not the strongest, skill of Spanish people, to be honest. And I'm not Spanish myself, but and I had to go for learning Spanish to study in a Spanish university.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's not that complicated, and the language is very useful.
Definitely.
But if a student is really determined to study in English and skip the Spanish program, which I really, really encourage students to go for the Spanish program, because I think that the student has boosted their professional CV and future opportunities more thanks to the language than thanks to the master, even though the master is, of course, a huge, huge achievement. If you really insist on taking program in English, that must be in a private university, which means that the tuition fees will be very, very costly, because a good master in a private university costs at least 11,000 euros. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to skip the language program, you won't be able to access public education, and you have to be prepared to bear 100% of the cost of education by yourself.
True. But I must say, I would like to add this point from my side. I mean, the Spanish is, like you have mentioned, Ms. Boucher, that it is the second widely spoken language in all around the world. So that means almost 1/4 of the population in the world speaks Spanish. If you go towards the Southern American region or to some of the European region, of course, the Spanish is one of the widely spoken language. So of course, there's a benefit. Students can have a lot of benefit after learning a language. Okay, moving on to the second question. So for this LCA program, did student have to pay the fees of 7,500 euros upfront from India, or he can make the installments?
Normally, the installments are not allowed because of how the Spanish immigration law regulates that. Students are expected to cover 100% of the tuition fees before they reach Spain. Otherwise, they won't be paying for education, they would be paying for a visa, So we need to guarantee that the tuition fees are covered by the students 100%, which is actually quite usual. And whichever study abroad destination you choose, you're normally expected to pay the vast majority of the tuition fees before you actually reach the university.
Definitely.
Jigar, there is, the good thing that the student can make a part payment. Okay, there's a 1,500 euro, they can pay the deposit. And with the deposit, they get the documents to apply for the visa. All right. And once they get the visas, we can assure that students pay before he travels.
Okay.
The only thing that before he makes his travel, the fees has to be fully fees for 1 year has to be paid. That is the most important.
That is the most important part, yes. And to adding into the same question, the same student is asking that what if a student has already cleared A1 and A2 level of the Spanish language, like he's certified for A1 and A2, then how much fees he would have to pay, or what will be the discount on the total fees?
Yes, it's possible to join Spanish LCA program only for higher levels, like for example, only for B1 or only for B2 or starting from A2. Every student that wants to join Spanish LCA only for higher levels needs to go through a level assessment by the University of Vigo teachers. So even if you have a Cervantes certificate, the University of Vigo wants to have this short online assessment of your level, and the University of Vigo will decide what's the exact moment when you can join the Spanish LCA program. I will share this information with RG so that the students can inquire about the prices of the course by levels in more detail. But to give you an orientation, B1 and B2 level only, skipping A1 and A2 level cost 4,600 euros.
Okay. Okay, 4,600 euros. So this is the answer to the student who has asked, that who has already completed A1 and A2 level. Approximately, if your fluency of A1 and A2 level has like hence proven to the University of Vigo, then you will be given this opportunity to pay this much of discounted fees, and you can carry on with your other labels. Okay. Um, so there's this one generic question by the same student. Seems like he's very keen towards it. He's bombing into our chats. Is there any interview which will happen from the VFS side, or like is it any online documentation how it works, visa procedure? So I guess Mr. Rajiv, you would be the right person for this.
Yes. So what will the students have A1, A2, the possible students?
So he's asking that at
Definitely, yes. The
VFS there is
student
a.
will be submitting his applications to the BLFs, okay, and there he will be, once the day they submit it, they will be calling. Like after the pandemic, they're taking the interviews on the phone calls that you can submit, and they may call you, okay, and they ask you a few things. The most important, they are looking for their financial part, that student's financial part, okay, and the actual source of income. Sometimes what happened, that's in India, that we do find that students, they are arranging their finances at the very last minute. I won't recommend that ever do that to any students, because in that case the embassy is very smart. They see that the last minute arrangements, that means that finance is not belong to the students or their parents. Okay, this is something like temporary they have arranged from somewhere. So guys, make sure, if you are thinking to study in Spain, just plan a little bit well in advance, at least 6 months in advance. Right, you need to get all these documents, prepare your financial part. Right, and if you need any guidelines, any support, ask any of our members, and so we'll guide you how we can, because there are, you will find many students here, like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do have a money, of
Who
course,
have
they
a
do
money,
have a
but
money,
yeah,
but sometimes according to this taxation issues,
they
they
won't
don't
put it
keep
up
their
in
money
account
like straight away into their savings
into their accounts.
accounts. They
Yes.
have in the different forms, let's say in the fixed deposits, or like in the share certificates, in the other financial investments, so how they can figure it out, we can help them, okay, that they have this money into their savings account, keep them for a few months, and then only they'll apply. And
Definitely.
of course they are also looking for that the source of income, what kind of a business their parents is having, what kind of jobs they are having, what are the security, that okay, that this is the, they see the consistency of the income. So
Yeah.
you need to work out on that precisely. Otherwise, they are there just to give a visa. So if you are fulfilling all their entry requirements, the documentations, and Miss Goshia also has a great experience, even being like she's sitting down in Spain, where she knows how the embassy works in India and how the Indian applications, she also refer to the the applications and the documentations even before we submit to the embassy. Ms. Goshi, over to you. I think you can also put some highlights that how we can figure it out still on the visa applications.
Thank you, Mr. Rajiv. Actually, you just explained perfectly the most important point. All the documents will be good because you're in good hands with RG team. But indeed, you need to work very, very diligently on the financial documents, because that might be the biggest issue when it comes to your visa application. I don't want to give you an impression that it's impossible or very difficult, because we do receive a lot of students from India. You just need to be well advised and well guided, and follow the indications of the specialists, of experts who are trying to help you to prepare your financial documents properly. But if you do have solid source of incomes sponsor, we will be able to help you to prepare the documents the way that shows that you have this kind of sponsor. So it won't be an issue. I don't want to scare you, neither, okay? It's perfectly doable, but we just want to draw your attention to the fact that it requires some preparation and some expertise.
Yes, yes, true, true. So, okay, already received. Thank you for your detailed answer. Okay, great. Well, that's why we here. We are glad that your all the queries been answered. Okay, moving on to the next question. Um, you mentioned about the public university education. So here we discussed about University of Vigo. So for the management side, what sort of courses they have in undergraduate and postgraduate courses?
Can you, what sort of courses we have in general?
Yeah, in general.
Yeah. Okay, I'm surprised with the question
Jigar,
because
can I
we have
just
everything.
can I, Jigar, you know, I
Yeah.
tell you,
Yeah.
you must ask what sort of programs you don't have.
You don't have.
Then we might be, you know, like go through. Okay, there are mostly everything, Jigar.
Okay.
Medicine, business, criminology, psychology, IT, nursing, you know, graphic designing, like
Engineering,
engineering,
everything.
anything. You just
Anything and
name
everything.
it,
We name it. Yeah.
and we have it. You know,
Fantastic.
in the undergraduates as well as in the postgraduate. Right, we are. I must say that there are, you know, many number of Spanish universities. They are still in, like, you know, in the world's, you know, top 250 or 500, you
Yes,
know,
yes,
where we're still
yes.
recruiting students for. So definitely they will be completing their graduations or their post graduation in one of the top ranked in the world, you know, that world's leading university, I must say that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know, they will be having a really great future, you know. And Spain is the country, if they knows, because, you know, usually, because I'm dealing in this in the European market since very long, what is my experience, Jigar, usually there are students, okay, because in the Europe the English is not the first language, you must
Mm-hmm.
remember that. So
Definitely.
students, you know, even though if they're going to the best university, their program studying, they're studying in English medium, but still, you know, they do face some difficulties because of that language barrier. If they go somewhere in the supermarket, let's see, if they're in the metropolitan city, they will not find any problem. But say they're in somewhere in the rural area, okay, they may face some problems in the, you know, communication.
Yes, yes.
In Spain, all right, in the first few months, they are learning Spanish
Yeah.
with the B2 level.
Yeah.
Then believe me, what my experience says that to learn a foreign language, okay, is not easy, but a Spanish language is not difficult to learn. I have
Definitely.
seen, I have been to Vigo, I have been to Campus Spain office, I have been to the Spanish university. I have seen our Indian students, they just been there, let's see, like 2 months, 3 months, and I was so surprised by seeing them, you know, that they're talking in Spanish, but they are
Yeah.
like, you know, like they're so good in, like, you know,
They
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 can
become very fluent. Like, yeah.
very fluent. In
Yes.
fact, they are talking with the Spanish students. They're talking. They are having really good interaction, you know, with their professors in the university. And I was a little bit surprised, you know, by seeing that, because I have not seen that fluency, you know, in the other part of the Europe. You know, you see. So this is the good part, that, and as Miss Goshia said, that Spanish is one of the most widely spoken language in the world.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
though if you go to United States, you know, if you go to like the some
Definitely.
part, yes, let's say like a California or Texas or that part, you will find many, like, you know, there are requirement if you're working as a doctor in certain
Yeah.
region, okay,
Yes.
you
Yes.
must speak Spanish.
Even in US, yes, there are some
Even in
areas where,
US,
yeah, even in US, there are some areas where you would hardly find someone who's speaking English. In some areas, they all speak
that is the
Spanish.
basic requirement, because the
Yes.
local people, they speak Spanish and they don't speak English.
Yeah.
So that means if you really want to explore, right, the world, then, you know, this is the best, you know, like the language to learn at least.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes.
In the name of that, I'm so sorry, Mr. Raju, but I would like to mention, in the name of that, in last 2 weeks since we have been, arranging this webinar, I have successfully learned two words: "Hola" and "Queta." The one which I shared with you the other day. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
That
Moving
is
on to the
good.
next question.
Yeah.
Okay. Generally, how long does it take to receive an admission for the LCA program?
It's quick. I mean, since you lodged, submit your application and your academic documents, we will invite you for an interview within no more than 1 week. And no more than 1 week after interview, you have your result and your offer letter. So it can all be done in 2 to 3 weeks.
Fantastic, fantastic. So basically, this LCA program, there are a couple of students. I can see the questions, and what I can see, I guess I would like to clarify for them, guys. This is a LCA program. Means this is the language that first you're gonna learn. okay, the Spanish language. No matter you going to your bachelor's degree, no matter you going to your master's degree, first 1 year you're going to learn the language, and then you can continue to your whatsoever persistent degree. Okay, so if you even going for the masters, the 1 year would be for your language learning, and
It's a
then
less
you,
than a year, Jigar.
yeah,
It's a less
yeah,
than a year.
approximately,
If
yeah,
this, yes, if the student going, let's see, in the January or January intake,
yeah.
right, they will be completing, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Gusha, I think in the like 7 to 8 months, if the student is applying in the Jan intake.
So if you're joining the January batch, you will finish the program in 6 months and a half, almost 7 months, okay? And you can reach B2 level of Spanish during that time, okay?
Believe
It's,
me, yes.
yeah,
And
perfectly
believe me, like
possible.
in 1.5 months or 2 months, you will be able to speak
Communicate.
Spanish. You will be able
Fantastic.
to communicate with the local people.
Yes.
So yes, I have seen, myself. So it's
Yeah.
really, that make feels, like, so good when you are communicating with the local people in the local language. And once you start speaking Spanish, there are no barriers for
There is no
anything.
barriers. Yes, that is
Do a
very
job
true.
because you know the
Yes.
language. That's
Know the
it.
language, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, if I look at the other side, when Ms. Gosha was mentioning about the fee structure, you only investing into your language learning, which is 7,500 euros. Once you complete that, and once you have your like the hands-on language learning experience with you, you're applying to this University of Vigo for even this is a public university, so the fee structure is very nominal, which is as less as I guess 900 and something euros, right, Ms. Gosha? The per year fee.
It depends on the city you choose, but it's perfectly possible to get to one of the most highly ranked universities for less than
Yeah.
1,000 euros per year. Yes.
Yes, so that's a add-on advantage for the students who wants to go for public universities, and with like a little bit of affordable fee structure. So it's a win-win situation, guys. You're learning language and you also paying a less fees. So what else would you want? Okay,
Just want
move.
to add one more thing, Jigar. Like,
Yes.
in this tuition fees, the 7,500, if I'm, not making a mistake, then there are also included not only the tuition fees, but the campus paints. They are doing several activities as well for the students, just to understand, very closely the culture, the people. When I was there in Spain, for my short trip, I was going along with all this our students to watch a live football match in a stadium.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and believe me, that experience was like, amazing. I would never, I never thought that to watch a live football match sitting in Spain, and so that was a great experience. So there was a student. So that's what the efforts they're giving. That just to understand, they're taking like a day trips. They're taking one for the day trip to Portugal, day trips to the near, like other activities. So that's how, like the older students, they are getting a great knowledge about the language,
Definitely.
about the culture, and many other things.
Definitely, definitely. One specific question I got it here, and I guess it's a very very much needed question. I was waiting for this. So someone is asking, how does Campus Spain and Association of RG International will help student to get through this? So how exactly it will work? So Ms. Gosha, I guess over to you.
This is something very unique about this program and about how we can handle it together with RG International is that the student will not be left alone, not even for a while. Since the day you decide you want to study in Spain, and since the day you take your phone on and visit RG International, you will be assisted in everything. I mean, they give you the application form, they help you to fill it in, they will convey it to us, they will let you know about your interview, your Zoom interview slot. After the interview, they'll do the follow-up with you, they will send you your offer letter, and they will be accompanying you along the visa application process. You'll be supported both by RG and by me personally from Spain. I'll be also following up on your visa application. Then when you reach Spain, already at the airport, Campus Spain team is there waiting for every single student. While
Yes.
you're in Spain, you need to see a doctor, you call Campus Spain, we arrange a doctor appointment for you. It's totally free from any cost for you. to go to any Spanish doctor during the program. So there, I cannot think even of one step along the way where the student is not properly accompanied by us.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, for the students, guys, it is not. I mean, it is just not the support till you get your visa, but it is the support throughout your academic journey in Spain. Like you need anything, we would have, support of a campus Spain who would be, helping you guys to, get the new things. So, which is wonderful. There's this one question. I'm quite not sure. I should be taking it up, but okay, let's give it a try. How many years of the like the work permit or the stay back option after we done with the graduation?
All right, so this is good. This is a good question. Thank you for asking it. Every student that graduates from an official bachelor's or master's degree in Spain are allowed to extend their study visa for 1 more year in Spain, only to look for a job or create their own business, which means when you graduate, you do not need to work yet. You're going to be given 1 year time to arrange your professional situation. If you manage to find a job, if you manage to get your job or create your own business, if you apply for a work permit, and once you start to work, there will be no further time limitation as to how long you can stay. Nobody's going to ask you to leave after 2 or 3 years. If you're working, if your professional life is developing properly in Spain, nobody's going to tell you, okay, it's been 2 years, you've been studying for 4 years, time to go. No, it does not exist. Basically, as long as you work, as long as you continue to develop your professional career here, nobody's going to ask you to leave after some determined a certain period of time. Okay, this, I know there are countries like Canada, you go for some time, so you're allowed to stay for some specific number of years afterwards. This kind of time limitation formula does not apply in Spain.
Great. That's actually one of the very unique point about Spain. So that's fantastic. The one more question that, okay, when we will get the offer for the university from India or after completing the language course? I mean, I guess of course after completing the language course, the student would have to appear for the application process of the university in Spain, and then they will receive an admission for the university. Correct me, Ms. Bush, if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's correct, but don't worry, because I understand this question, because some students tell me, okay, I'm going to enroll in the language program, but you don't guarantee that after language program I can actually continue to degree or master's. So maybe I invest a lot of time, a lot of money in the language, and then you tell me, no, you didn't get admitted to university. This will not happen, okay? Before we admit you to LCE program, we ask for your academic documents, and we are letting you know, and we guarantee that in the offer letter to Spanish LCE program, you will also find a written guarantee that after LCE program, you will be admitted to a public university in Spain. This is guaranteed in written to every student that joins a Spanish LCE program, because we verify your academic background to make sure that we will be able to grant your admission to public university after LCE. So there is no risk that you only come to Spain, take LCA and receive no admission to public university in Spain, okay? This won't happen because we check that before and we guarantee that to the students.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So I guess, Rajiv sir, I'm done from my side. I guess that is all for the question from my side.
I have one question here.
Yes, please.
Okay, the student is asking that, let's see if I complete my LCA program in Spain. Is there any possibility that I get an admission somewhere in public university in the English language, English programs? Or I have to study only in the Spanish programs?
Understood. Yes, there are many bilingual degrees and masters in public universities. In those bilingual masters and degrees, some subjects are taught in English and another subjects are taught in Spanish. So after Spanish LCA, most of the students would be choosing this kind of program. Let's say finance or business degree, for example, where 50% of subjects or 70% is in English and 30 or 50% is in Spanish. We encourage students. For example, right now we do assist a student from that came from RG International. There he will be studying engineering in Spain, and here at the University of Vigo, 70% of subjects after LCA program will be in English and 30% will be in Spanish.
Right.
Okay, so you won't be obliged in most of the cases to take all your subjects in Spanish. Nobody expects you to speak Spanish like a native after 7 to 10 months. You just need to understand the language, be able to manage yourself in language, but the Spanish universities are English-friendly universities, which means you still can use, the support of English language during your studies.
Great.
Okay, so it's important to learn a Spanish language.
It is.
It is.
And easy also. It's easy to learn Spanish. That's important.
Yes. I mean, we got a gamer from Hola ¿Qué tal? To for a few more sentences, I guess now. Okay, so there's this one question. Once we get into the university, apart from tuition fees, do we need to pay anything to the university, like any sort of union fees or contribution fees or something like that?
No surprises. No extra costs.
No surprises.
No surprises.
Okay. Yes. Great. Also, I would like to include this question. Like this is from my side, Ms. Kosha. We have seen that weather chart that you have mentioned, like month-wise, the weather maximum and minimum, which I would see that mostly it's pleasant, like somewhere in between 4 to 8 degrees, which is the minimum, and the maximum is 14 degrees. Is it like throughout the year, or how it works?
Yes, here in Spain we have 4 seasons, but the climate is quite mild, which means that winter is not that cold. There's no snow, no minus 0 temperatures, and the summer is also very, very pleasant. So we go through all the 4 seasons. Winter is a little bit more windy, a little more rainy, and colder, but not that cold. Normally winter would be around 10 to 12 Celsius degrees, and right now we are in summer in Spain, and the spring in Spain is absolutely amazing. So right now we are at 25 Celsius degrees, the wonderful beach weather. The days in summer are very long. It's daylight until 11 p.m. It's still day, the daylight is still there, the sun is up, and it's absolutely amazing. So you can experience all 4 seasons.
This Jigar, this place, Vigo, believe it's beautiful place. It has beautiful beaches. It has mountains, right? You get up early in the morning and you see beautiful, the big, massive, the cruise, that park just outside of you see on the side.
Wow.
And when you go to the Vigo University, right, where the students will, learning this language and all LC program, they take a bus from the city center. It takes around 50-20 minutes, and all the way around on the hill. When you get onto the hill, you see the entire city from the university, and you are the university based on the hill. So it's beautiful. It's amazing, man. The location, weather, and students will love it. Not will enjoy, but they will love it. Yes, it's like just to fall in love with the city.
Can imagine, yes. A university on a hill, and entire city down there. Of course, that would be the dream location to complete your graduation with.
And Jigar, like you take a drive, if you take a taxi or you take a bus, and probably in 1 hour you are in Portugal.
Okay.
You can make a day trip. You can go in the morning and come back in the evening. You can visit, like Porto City in the Portugal, which is just a close by, and come back in the evening to Vigo.
Wow.
It's an amazing place.
Fantastic. Okay, so I guess that is all. I guess we have covered most of the points and all the important, the information that's supposed to be conveyed to the student. So we are closing the Q&A session here. Now, moving towards to, concluding this webinar, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of RG International's team and myself. That thank you so much, Ms. Gosha, for taking out time and supporting us always, and today as well to our students and our associate who all are watching us live right now from the various platforms. So thank you so much for the presentation and all the information. Thanks for being with us today. And so Rajiv sir, over to you. I'd like you to say 2 words.
I'm always thankful to Miss Kosha and Mr. Gonzalo. Mr. Gonzalo is not here today, but I really appreciate, guys. We've been working since long now, and it's been a few years, and we had a really our students. The most important thing that our students are really very happy. All right, and the way they're taken care by the campus paint team, Miss Gosha and Mr. Gonzalo, it's outstanding. I have no words to explain, and I must say that we always appreciate your support and our teamwork, and for everything. So, Ms. Kusha, we are really looking forward for a good recruitment for more students from this year, and we also looking forward to meet you in person in India.
Hopefully, as soon as possible. Can't wait to
Yes.
visit India again.
All right. So that's it, and thank you so much for everything, for all this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias, Mr. Rajiv.
Muchas
gracias.
gracias.
Yes. You've just learned another 2 Spanish words.
Muchas gracias.
Yes, muchas gracias.
Hasta ahora. Hasta ahora.
Hasta ahora.
Hasta ahora.
Yeah, we've been me and Mr. Rajiv, we have decided we're gonna improve our Spanish.
Just I want to inform you that we have a Spanish language teacher here now, okay, who will be teaching a basic beginners level to all of the students who are coming to Spain. So before they start, come and do the professional levels, A1, A2, B1, B2, they will be doing basic beginners levels here. Okay,
That's
so we
wonderful. Yes.
Yes.
And
So
you can also join.
Of course. Look, I just want to show you.
Yeah,
Hey.
I'm also carrying.
Spanish. The books are ready. You see.
Muy bien. Very good.
We are looking forward,
Yeah.
that all our students, when they arrive, at least they can do the basic communication at
That's
airport.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. And then what they say just recently, I figured this out that I also know this word, hasta luego, we'll see you later. Yes.
Our next meeting will be in Spanish now.
In Spanish,
please,
yes.
A month or 2 months later.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, guys. For all the times and for all the support.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see you soon. And my regards to Mr. Gonzalo.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, before we end, I would like to tell the students and the associates who are watching us live right now, guys, if you have still any question or any query, please, feel free to reach out to us. Our helpline number is 8108-006-005. We have offices across Pan Inter, Europe, and South Africa. You can choose any of your nearest office, and you can, consult our professional, counselors, and they will be very happy to help you with your application in Spain. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Gosha. And that is all from my side.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Take care.
All right. Take care.
See you in Spain.
Yeah. Hasta ahora. Bye.
Yes.